Can you imagine if Tom Hanks never acted in movies? That would have been a terrible loss for cinema. Over the course of his lengthy career, the actor collected a whole set of incredible human fates.
It's who I am.
A superstar who could easily turn up at your wedding without an invitation, but would never take the same flight as you. He would jokingly photobomb you, but do not hurry to hug him if you hear him say,
Let's get this straight.
Yes, the charming Tom sometimes loses his temper. The shades of his personality are not confined to the aforementioned. How many boxes of chocolates did Tom Hanks have to eat before his life went sweet? We're gonna find out right now. For many years, Tom Hanks wanted to become no, not a dancer.
Down, down, baby, down the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby, sweet, sweet, don't let me go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, rock.
No, not even a singer. He wanted to go to space.
I would want to be an astronaut.
But all in all, he has reached orbital heights of success in the movie industry, which, by the way, made it possible for his dream to come kinda close to reality when he starred in Apollo 13.
Houston, we have a problem.
In 2021, he was offered an opportunity to go to space for real, but Hanks had to give up on his dream.
And you know, it costs like $28 million or something like that. And I'm doing good, Jimmy, I'm doing good. But I ain't paying $28.
When it comes to money, we can safely say that he is doing okay. His net worth is estimated to be around $500 million. But wasting money was never really his thing. Hanks doesn't pay much attention to the brand name on his suit.
You look very smart.
That is not a rental, by the way.
Exceptions to these standards, of course, are family trips and the private jets. Exquisite business class seats do not impress him. He takes breaks from work and meetings in the sky all by himself. Another item on his expense list is typewriters. Yep, Tom started collecting typewriters when he was 19 and today has a fine selection of several hundred. Even the room he specifically designed for this peculiar hobby is getting a little too crowded already.
That's a dense, solid machine.
Tom Hanks is used to squeezing every penny since childhood. For years, he drove the same old car and never spoiled his 4 kids.
If I needed money to go out and have fun with my friends, my dad would be like, okay, you want some money? Go wash my car. I'll give you $60. You know, everything was earned.
There is a reason for that. Back when Tom studied at college, he was happy with just the $50 he received every month. In those days, he was working part-time in the classical repertory theater, a job he took to work through his shyness.
I was married and I had a kid at the time and just always needed to have. I said, well, I got $800 in the bank. I think I'm good for about another 3 months.
To provide for his family and keep a roof over their heads, he took on any and every job opportunity.
I was a bellman for the Oakland Hilton Hotel.
Oh, did you get nice tips on that?
I made about 50 cents a time.
In the late 70s, many worried how this broke weirdo, who let's say wasn't the most attractive man in the world, managed to win Samantha Lewis's heart. They say their marriage fell apart because Lewis turned out to be too materialistic and demanded money all the time. There were also rumors she was jealous of his career. While Lewis was a stay-at-home mother for their 2 children, Tom Hanks made his name starring in some of the most successful movies of the 80s.
Horribly painful time, fraught with emotion and bad feelings. Couldn't be a worse father and I couldn't be a worse human being.
After their divorce, Hanks ended up in therapy 3 times a week to pull himself together and get the answers to the questions occupying his mind.
Number 1, you have been an idiot. But number 2, you're no longer an idiot.
Why was the divorce such a hard blow for him? Tom was most afraid of repeating his parents' mistakes. They separated when he was just 5 and kept rearranging their personal love lives right in the face of a totally confused kid.
When I was 10 years old, both my parents had already been married 3 times and I'd lived in 10 different houses. And I thought of it as kind of like a cool adventure.
Tom grew up to be a shy but very independent guy.
I kind of fell through the cracks and didn't really have adults per se that were taking care of me. but I was not abused and I always had a key to the house.
He would cook for himself almost every day and mostly fed on tomato soup, which would often boil over, burn the stove, and stink up the whole place. Ever since then, Tom can't stand the soup, so much that he can't even look at it. Tom inherited his father's creative skills. Even though Amos Mefford Hanks was a very talented writer and performer, he never tried to exhibit his talent. He was quite a restrained person, for which he had his own reasons.
He was 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and a hired hand killed his father in the barn of the farm that they were growing up in Willows, California. He was one of 4 kids, and he was the only one there. And he was broken by that experience.
Tom aimed to never miss career opportunities, but also cared a lot about his love life. It was his second try at love that finally brought him happiness. Tom first saw his future wife, a funny girl with curly hair, Rita Wilson, when she was just 16 and appeared on TV as a cheerleader.
Tell me 1, 2, who are you?
The Bears,
3, 4, tell me who's gonna score? The Bears!
Later they met in person on the set of Bosom Buddies. It really was love at first sight.
I got lucky. No secrets, it's about winning the lottery.
Rita is Tom's biggest supporter. During award ceremonies, he always mentions her with tears in his eyes.
And I have that in a lover that is so close to fine, we should all be able to experience such heaven right here on earth.
She in turn never gets tired of confessing her love to him, even after 30 years of marriage.
I really like him, and he likes me, and we laugh a lot.
At times, they had no room for laughing though. The couple had to deal with their son, Chester's drug addiction.
One of the things I've learned is to try to guarantee a carefree life for your children for as long as possible.
Together, they faced Rita's breast cancer.
She's the bravest woman I know.
This woman instilled confidence in him. The actor admits,
Well, I think that if that's what you want to do, then I think that's what you should do it.
in the beginning of his career, Tom made a name for himself as an actor of simple and ordinary roles. After the movie Big came out, telling the story of a boy whose mind and personality were transferred into a grown man's body, critics had no doubt that Hanks would continue being a comedic actor. But that was not the case. Hanks chose the difficult path. He began to seek roles with complicated dramatic characters and rebellious destinies.
That's correct.
In 1993, he played a gay man dying from AIDS in the film Philadelphia. The Academy was very impressed with his acting skills, and Hanks continued to challenge society's attitudes to the unconventional and unwelcome characters of those times. Slow-witted and kind-hearted Forrest Gump became his most iconic role.
Every time I walk into somebody's living room for the first time, they always say, "Son of a gun, Forrest Gump in my living room."
However, he only agreed to this role under terms that the movie be completely true to the events that happened in real life.
Every interview will be about Forrest Gump at some point.
Tom spent a long time choosing the right type of accent for the mentally impaired character to make it more believable. In the end, he adopted the unusual speaking manner from the fellow actor who played the younger version of Forrest Gump.
Now, you wouldn't believe it, me, if I told you, but I could run like the wind blows. From that day on, if I was going somewhere, I was running good.
Being a real professional, he is willing to go to great lengths for the sake of a role. For Castaway, he grew a long beard, fattened up to 220 pounds, and then lost 48 pounds in a year.
I think the body has taken enough punishment, in the going up and down.
While shooting Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks was the only one who actually liked spending 6 days at boot camp. While others complained they were having a hard time, Hanks said it was an amazing experience. It's not surprising Tom gained a good reputation among directors. Steven Spielberg once said, Hanks was the most genius actor he ever got a chance to work with. He needs merely 10 seconds to make tears stream down his face. Tom assures though he is not that susceptible in real life.
I'm not a reflective guy, per se.
The most important thing for him is to elicit the viewer's emotions through honest acting. He carefully analyzes the scripts and studies tons of biographies. If a character is not to his liking, he declines the role without regrets.
But I always look for the human details, the things that human beings do that are somehow oftentimes inexplicable and don't make sense, or are so natural that everybody everybody can relate to it.
Hanks rarely takes on the role of a bad guy. On the contrary, he looks for the stories of fundamentally good-natured characters. The boundary between Tom and his characters has blurred already.
It just looks like a bad guy, doesn't it?
The humble Mr. Nice Guy became an idol for the idols, both in movies and real life.
I really love Charlie Wilson's War. I really love Forrest Gump.
When being praised, he blushes and gets all bashful.
I cannot be nervous in my day job. I cannot go in front of a camera or in a rehearsal or in front of an audience and be nervous for a moment.
Tom the Sweetie doesn't try to hide the fact that just like 30 years ago when he began, he still gets nervous before every acting job. Sometimes he can't even sleep the night before a big shooting day.
You got a 50-50 chance that you're gonna fail.
He calms his nerves down with laughter. But even this softie sometimes has outbursts.
Do you ever get angry? Is there an angry Tom Hanks?
My saying is I don't like people taking advantage of my good nature.
The only time he ever expressed his anger publicly was an incident with paparazzi. He protected his wife from the clingy photographers who dared to push her.
Whoa. Stop it. What are you doing? Back the f*** off. What are y'all doing?
His closest people know when to back down and let Tom be.
There's a code word in the family that when I use these words, let me get this straight. That means I've gone off. I've gone off the deep end.
So whenever you hear,
let me get this straight,
take a few steps away from the actor. At other times, you are free to have a chat with him because he would be glad to talk to you. Tom can spend hours having conversations and hugging his fans. He simply loves them. Once Tom received a letter from a little admirer who complained about being bullied in school for his name, Corona. Without hesitation, Tom Hanks wrote back to the boy. To encourage him for the letter, he used his typewriter, also called Corona.
He said I'm a friend of him, and I'm gonna ride back soon.
In 2015, the star bought 2 boxes of chocolates from some Girl Scouts for $20 each, and later helped them sell the rest. His quirks are on a different level. He might even take a selfie on your phone when you're not looking.
Did you take a selfie on my phone?
Yeah, I have an unwritten rule that if you find an unguarded iPhone, take a selfie of it and just put it back down.
The actor posts a lot of pictures of lost items to his Instagram account.
I don't touch them. I just see them and I photograph them.
His favorite finds are somebody's gloves.
There's a story behind them all. What happened? What happened to its mate? How did this glove get lost? Is someone going to keep the other glove at home on the off chance that they're going to pair it up?
There is more to come. Hanks likes to make surprises for newlyweds. What does he do, you ask? Just pops up in their weddings. He started this practice back in 1993 when he accidentally met a bride while shooting Forrest Gump. Since then, there's been no stopping him. He even earned the title of the main guest star of American Weddings.
I just can't help but think, what would these people like more than anything else? To remember this magic day of days. Oh, I know, me.
Thanks to his sharp talent and total indifference to fame, Tom Hanks has earned a special place in the hearts of his co-workers.
He is every man and the best of us at the same time.
And the same goes for us simple viewers.
Do you know that people have tattoos of you on them?
The thought petrifies me.
It seems he is one of those rare breeds who will gradually go extinct. Tom Hanks is an old-fashioned movie star whose real life is totally consistent with his flawless gentleman image. Truly a role model worth living up to. What other characters are missing from Tom Hanks' collection? What do you guys think?